I don't think you should set a 1K budget for a 5-day 4-night trip at Taiwan. My realistic budget was 3.5K with an extra 500 ringgit buffer.
3,000 for a week.
Let's not... Hey! Okay, now that you put it this way, that is actually crazy. Yo, it takes me a whole month to earn that. And I spend it in 1 week? Maybe I am not realistic. Maybe I overplaced my budget.
Yeah, but that's why you're making this episode, right? Because that's what you learned.
Yeah, that's what I learned. Oh my god, that's crazy. Hey, but I only live once. We're just figuring it out. Okay, so for today's video, I'm gonna talk more about traveling, like what you should do as a first-time traveler and what you should be aware of, and as a first-time adult traveler without going with your parents and without having to rely on someone who is responsible. So this was my first time traveling as a responsible adult. I wouldn't say I was responsible this whole trip, but I would say this is everything that I would change if I were to go on another trip again without my parents, okay? Here's the first thing you should do as a first-time traveler. In my opinion, this is a very obvious answer, which is to pick a location. Because if you don't have a location, how are you going to travel? I mean, you could also imagine lah, but that's up to you. So as a girl myself, there's actually a lot to consider when it comes to traveling, because I would say it's not as safe, so it'll be very hard to convince parents who are on the stricter side. So here are the things that I broke it down to make it more easier for you to decide where to travel. Number one, it has to be somewhere relatively safe, somewhere preferably where it's not famous for like pickpocketing, or somewhere where it's not famous for kidnapping, you know, or human trafficking. There are a lot of movies and news lately about human trafficking and pickpocketing and kidnapping, so understandably so, our parents are gonna be more paranoid. And number two, a place where you can speak their language or has a widely known language like the English language. You know what I'm saying? And then number three,
If your parents watch White Lotus, then you gotta be careful.
if your parents watch what?
White Lotus.
What? Oh my god! Not only that, that's
You know White Lotus,
Chinese
right?
one. Yeah.
They talk about Thailand.
Oh my god, there's another one. There's a Chinese film. It's called 孤注一掷 or something like that. My Chinese is not good. Please don't clock me on this shit. But it was really about like human trafficking, but not human trafficking. It's a job scam. It's a job scam where they were sent over to Thailand, and then that guy was just like whiplash and everything, and he was just trying to escape. It was crazy. It was in Thailand too. And there was another one where the girl was just like changing in the changing room, and then out of nowhere there was a trap door, and then she just disappeared, and she was never found again, and she just kind of died. And I was like, oh my god, I don't want to change clothes in I'm not generalizing a country. I'm just saying, in general, when I travel, I probably don't want to change my clothes again. Unless if it's in a mall.
It's just about being safe, right?
Yeah, I just want to be safe. As a girl, I want to go back to my house. I love my bed. Anyways, point number three. Somewhere where transportation is easily accessible. Because if you're traveling for your very first time as a fresh adult, I'm assuming you don't have much money to spend. And somewhere where you can cut costs is actually transportation. So for me personally, all of that options, it really boiled down to one country where all of my friends can comfortably enjoy, but at the same time, we know we were kind of safe, which was Taiwan. It really ticked all of the boxes that I listed down. But you do you, you know? You make the decisions according to your own judgment call. So lately I've been attending weddings back to back for 4 months straight. I ain't gonna lie, I never knew it could cost so much to go as a guest. This messed up my budget a little bit until my colleague told me to use BNPL when I needed to buy smaller ticket items like wedding gifts. To be honest, I don't like the idea of spending above your means and using services like BNPL because I'm irresponsible and I don't like to purchase items that I cannot afford in full cash. But I decided to give it a try anyways. So I used Atomi and I realized that BNPL is meant to help me better manage my cash flow. I recently bought a bedsheet set from Gaia's, which costs around 300, which is quite a bit to spend as a fresh grad. But because I used Atomi, I only paid RM100 a month for 3 months. And it is interest free. Sometimes they offer rebates and cashback when you purchase from their partnering brands like Gayas. Technically, it is free money if you girl math it because you spend and save at the same time. And as a forgetful person myself, the best part is it auto deducts from my bank account, so I don't have to worry about the late fees or the interest build-up. Well, you guys might be thinking that this segment is sponsored by Otomi, and you're not wrong, it is. But I personally find it helpful for me to manage my finances without having to eat grass by the end of the month, because it gives my wallet some room to breathe. And I get to save money too. And no, this isn't me telling you to go on a shopping spree. Please don't add anything else to your cart. It's more like if you already have things that you need to buy, this makes it easier on your wallet. And for our FIO audience watching this right now, there's actually a special deal just for you. Click the link down below to find out more. Go check it out before your wallets start crying again. Let's get back to the video. So next point, budgeting, aka money moves.
Ew, this is so cringe. Guilty.
I know this is where things get a bit stressful. Well, at least for me, because I have to look at numbers. And I am sort of the responsible friend in the friend group. Well, my friends who are watching this, they probably won't agree, but this is what I think, okay? I think I was the responsible friend. So when I think about budget, initially I was really stressed out because I had a whole Excel sheet. I was looking at templates. I was going onto Xiaohongshu. I was going onto TikTok looking for different ways I can budget properly, but I don't think it should be that hard. Because if it's that hard, you probably don't even want to travel anymore. Yeah. So I consulted my friend who travels quite a lot, and this is how she makes budgeting simple and easy, so she doesn't have to overthink it to the point where she doesn't even want to execute it. Number one, you have to set a budget, obviously. So your budget should include everything that you're going to do, from flights, your stay, food, transport, fun money, emergency money, because this is really important. Because what if you have an emergency and you have no money in a foreign country? Yeah, anyways, besides the point, you have to set a realistic budget. It cannot be like, you see some, like 3 videos on TikTok and they say like, going to Taiwan for 1K and 5 days, 4 nights. You really think about it, logistics wise, I think they were just really lucky with the promos and the vouchers and all that. But if you're not that lucky, you should not spend, like, set 1K as your budget. You know what I'm saying? It's just common sense.
But also, right, because of promos, maybe it's them taking advantage of it and planning ahead.
True.
Right.
That's true. But not everyone, I would say majority of us are not planners like that in that sense. They are like extra good at planning. But I would say, I mean, I'm going to list down more options of like vouchers and promos that you can look into. But what I'm trying to say is, I don't think you should set a 1K budget for a 5 day, 4 night trip at Taiwan. Some people are really good at that, but I'm not. So my realistic budget was 3.5K with an extra 500 ringgit buffer. Just in case, you know, because I'm a girl who likes to spend.
That's crazy.
Hey, I went there for 8 days and 7 nights.
3,000 for a week.
That's not... Hey, okay, now that you put it this way, that is actually crazy. Yo, it takes me a whole month to earn that. And I spend it in 1 week. Maybe I am not realistic. Maybe I overplaced my budget.
Yeah, but that's why you're making this episode, right? Because that's what you learned.
Yeah, that's what I learned. Oh my god, that's crazy. Hey, but I only live once.
It'll be good for the economy.
Don't think like me. Anyways, if the budget is pretty tight, you would have to make compromises somewhere. So I did make compromises, even with my big ass budget, according to my producer Ethan. So how I made compromises was I actually booked shittier flights. And honestly, I actually booked it pretty last minute because it was a very last minute decision to fly off with my friends to Taiwan. That was probably why it was expensive, because booking wise, everything was pricey, and I picked a peak season. I didn't pick an off-peak season because, in my opinion, the reason why a lot of people can plan for trips that are so budget is because they picked a right timing. So my flight was actually during New Year's, like New Year's Eve. So the moment I landed, I actually went immediately to Taiwan 10, like the Tower 101. I don't know what it's called in English.
101. Taipei
Yeah.
101.
Taipei 101, yeah. I went to Taipei 101 and countdown immediately. Like the moment I landed, I put my stuff. I did glam, obviously. And then I changed my clothes and then we went there. I mean, we didn't get any pictures because it was so crowded, but I had so much fun. That was probably why it was really pricey. Accommodation, flight, everything was pricey because everyone was there for the countdown. But that was not the point. That was the reason why my budget was bigger. Now I remember. Okay, so what I did was I picked shittier flights with layovers, even though there were so many direct flights going there, but it was at least 500 ringgit cheaper. But I honestly would not do that again. Next time I would pay the 500
Why?
ringgit.
Tell me.
It was so tiring. I've never had a layover before, so this was my first time. And this was my first time taking this airline. It was called Scoot, if I'm not mistaken. And the layover was so rushed because it was a 1 hour layover in Singapore in the middle of the night. And we were running from one end of the airport to the other end of the airport. And we were so scared we were going to miss the flight. And then when we landed, we were so tired because it was all happening within like midnight. Then we were rushing to the hotel to get ready and then rushing from the hotel to Taipei 101 and then squeezing through people. I was just exhausted because usually when people land from a flight, they'll rest first for a bit, then go out. But I didn't do that. So my body took a hit. I was really tired. So I would say plan properly. Don't be like me. Yeah, like I was like, hey, I'm young. I can do this. I'm going to YOLO and then land immediately, count down. Don't do that. Give yourself one day. I have a weak body. Okay, number 2, compare flights. So if you're betting on a budget, like myself, typically you will look at these different platforms like Skyscanner or even Google Flights. Google Flights is actually really good to compare ticket prices because it actually has almost all of the aviation companies. Plus, it's very easy to look through. It's very user-friendly also. But honestly, this is according to what my friends would tell me. They usually would just buy from the direct airline themselves. Like instead of going through secondary platforms where they compare all of the prices, just go directly to the airline company. Let's say, for example, my friend went to Hong Kong recently. And instead of going through Skyscanner or Google Flights, she looked through a couple different airlines like AirAsia, Malaysia Airlines, and then she looked through even their local airlines like Cathay Pacific. So when she looked through Cathay Pacific, she was like, hey, actually, it is cheaper for me to buy directly from Cathay Pacific's website. And not only that, they also included 20 kg add-on luggage, and they also included in-flight meals. But if you were to do that with just AirAsia alone, you have to add on a couple more hundred for just your baggage. And if you want to add on in-flight meals, you have to pay additional. So if you add it up, it will probably be even more expensive when you just buy from, as compared to buying from Cathay Pacific's direct airline. Do you get my point? Like, for example, even for Taiwan, if you were to buy from like Skylux airline, perhaps, it would be way cheaper, which I did not. I honestly don't know why I didn't, because I was like, oh my god, it's so much cheaper. Then I added the baggage.
Did you compare?
I did. I compared flight prices, but I completely forgot about if they have free baggage, you know? So a lot of airlines, some of them are pricier, a little bit more, because they have free add-on baggage. But if I were to buy add-on baggage additionally on more budget airlines, it would actually cost more. So that was a mistake that I made. And not only that, they have more comfier seats. They have, what's it called? They have in-flight meals as well. So in my opinion, I actually wasted quite a bit lah. And I was uncomfortable and I was tired when in fact I could have been cruising away without having to go through a layover. That was really tiring. And not only that, Skylux Airlines has Snoopy themed airlines. I really missed out. Snoopy, you know, like you open the food and then there's like Snoopy covers, Snoopy seats, Snoopy flight tickets too, you know.
For those of you who don't know, Melody loves Snoopy.
That's crazy. Like they even have Snoopy blankets and Snoopy headphones. I was like, I should have just spent No. Don't think like me. That's why we're making this video. To be a budget-friendly baddie. Okay. Let's move on. Oh, and while booking the flight, it's best for you to just add on insurance rather than purchase it additionally because it is also cheaper. And I know you might be thinking like, I don't want to spend this extra 50 ringgit for insurance, but honestly, if your baggage is gone or there are flight delays, you're going to regret not spending the extra 50 ringgit. It's only a couple more bucks. So I would say that's just more cost efficient. Just for safety lah. Okay, number 3, check out accommodation prices. So when I'm checking out accommodation prices, I've decided where I want to visit already. I'll check out the area surrounding where I should stay, and I'll look at the prices around the area, and I'll be like, hey, is this range okay for me? If it is not, one thing I actually did for myself, which I thought was pretty smart, was I looked a little bit further away from the area that I would want to frequent. A little bit further meaning like 20 minutes away, 30 minutes away. Yes, some people might think like, oh my god, I live in a city center, I can come down immediately and then I just walk around. But that was an extra like 300-400 ringgit a night. And in my opinion, I have 20 to 30 minutes to spare. So that was completely okay with me for staying a little bit further away. Not only that, on the outskirts, usually your accommodation is bigger, more spacious, and they have a lot of more free goodies because they're trying to attract, what are we called? Tourists. I'm sorry. Okay. But then, here's also another money tip that my friend shared. Let's say if you're using Agoda to check out accommodations, instead of booking the accommodation immediately after you've decided where you want to stay, you should save it within your Agoda app. And after some time, you look back through your save. It's actually way cheaper to just purchase or book from your saved folder rather than just booking it immediately from the non-saved folder, like your wherever you're scrolling. Do you get it?
I get it.
Yeah, okay. Hopefully you guys get it. And then number 4, you have to set a daily budget. So this was the one thing I did not do.
So therefore your comment is irrelevant.
I just set an overall budget. So what happened throughout the whole trip was I spent a lot at the start, and then towards the end I was suffering because I didn't budget properly. Although I had a lot of fun, but towards the end it was really tough because I was just doing the math and calculations. I was like, can I afford a bowl of noodles today? I can, but do I want to go over my whole trip budget? Probably not. So I think if you have a daily budget, it will be easier for you to track throughout the day how much you spend instead of throughout the whole trip how much you have left. So how do you set a daily budget? You have to gauge. For example, an average meal in Taiwan costs around 30 ringgit. I'm including like pricier restaurants or like middle range restaurants, as well as like food, snacks, everything. Like I think on average it's around 30 ringgit a meal. And then if you times 3, which is 3 meals a day, it's 90 ringgit a day on just food alone. Then if you factor in snacking and probably a bubble tea here and there, it's around 150 ringgit a day. So if I'm going for like 5 days, it's probably 750 ringgit on food alone. But this is more on the expensive side. But I personally don't really eat food that's too expensive because I like to explore street foods or mom and pop shops, so I didn't really spend too much on food. So that's why I decreased my budget for food. But this is my daily budget for food and purchasing items if I were to rebudget my daily budget again. You know what I'm saying?
I got a question actually. When you were there, right, did you eat like convenience store food? Because
All the
Taiwanese,
time.
Yeah, Taiwanese is.
I have a controversial take. Don't cancel me. I actually prefer Taiwanese convenience store food over their local food, like actual street food, mom and pop shop food. I don't know why. Like maybe I'm a girl that loves flavor, but in my opinion, maybe the restaurants I frequent wasn't that good, so it was very bland. But my favorite thing to eat in Taiwan at the time, all the time, I would go back to get their tea eggs. The tea eggs are so good. Something about it. There's probably like crack in it, but maybe not. But like it's so different from Malaysian tea eggs. I don't know why. It's so flavorful. Not only that, they had a mala version, you know. That's insane. But yeah, I wish we had tea eggs everywhere. Plus, protein, you know. Okay. Oh, and this is also a tip from my friend. So if you're frequenting a country where food delivery apps are very common all around, sometimes if you really want to save money and you're okay with cutting corners for food, you can always order via delivery apps because it is cheaper. For example, if you order in China, now because of the food price wars with the delivery app, it's actually really, really cheap. You can get like 2 cups of bubble tea with 1 yuan. That's insane.
Yeah. I had a friend who went to China, and he told me the hack that he used was that he downloaded all the new delivery apps, and every delivery app had vouchers like for
Yeah.
all the new stores. So it's like buy 2 free 1, buy 1 free 1.
Yeah.
So like spending for each day is just like maybe 10 ringgit.
Which is insane. But like if you're okay with cutting corners while by ordering through delivery apps instead of experiencing in restaurants, this is an option for you. But I would like to have a mix of both. But actually what happened was I was just at the convenience store a lot. I was like, what do I want to eat today? A tandoori egg, probably a hot soup, hot milk. And I was like, what else do I want? Let me go get some noodles. I swear I am a foodie, but something about foreign 7-Elevens just has my heart. Okay, so far, and don't forget to keep all your receipts because you can actually claim tax at the airport. I didn't do this. Do you know how much tax I could have claimed? A lot, because I shopped a lot. Yeah, but Taiwan actually has a lottery system. So if you collect all their receipts and then you submit for a lottery, you might win a lottery. But because I wasn't in the country when they were announcing it, so I gave it to my e-hailing guy. Yeah. So cool, right?
Yeah, that's what Wei San was talking about. The
No.
bear.
She had like when you enter Taiwan, what she had was basically there was this the lottery system is for Taiwan residences, but then the other lottery that she was talking about was for tourists. Like when they enter, they get to stand a chance to win around 700 ringgit. I'm not sure how much Taiwan dollars, I forgot already. Around 700 ringgit, and it will be immediately placed into your public transport card, and that card can be used in like 7-Elevens, Watsons, Guardians, etc. So when we landed, that's the first thing that we went to do after taking our luggage. So I went with 3 other friends. Each of us tried to get that free 700 ringgit for tourists. But what happened was none of us got it. And our driver actually said, I've never met such unlucky people before. Every single time I fetch someone, confirm got one person get one, especially in a group as big as yours. And I was like, what are you trying to say? He was like, how is this that all 4 of you are so unlucky that none of you got the lottery? And I was like,
You just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
okay, I'm already sad that I don't get free money, but you don't have to rub it in my wound, you know? But it's okay, I'm still having fun. He's just a very chill uncle. Yeah. So far, everything that I've listed is all just the bare minimum of what you need to have in your budget and how you should be able to cut costs, save money, as well as understand like exactly how you should plan your daily budget and throughout the whole trip as well. So I would say it's more of a chill way to budget rather than a super like I need to follow a spreadsheet, because when you're having fun on a trip, you constantly trying to pull out your spreadsheet to make sure that everything's going accordingly. I mean, I'm not super type A, nor am I super type B. I would say I'm in between. But I would say for a person like me, it would really stress me out if I have to follow everything down to the T. I'm just there to have fun. And when I come back, I'll probably be more like, oh my God, why did I spend on this? But as of that moment, I think it would be easier if you have a daily budget to follow. So if you finish up today's budget, then you know, hey, today I spent a bit too much. Tomorrow I'll just cut a little bit in certain areas. So it'll be easier rather than what I did was I spent everything in one go, and then towards the end I was like, I have no money left. What do I do? Yeah. Okay, next, who to travel with. If you're looking for solo traveling advice, this video isn't for you because I have not personally experienced that. I can't comment on solo traveling. In fact, I'm a bit too scared to do that for now. Maybe when I'm older, I'll do it. But if you're looking for that advice, I highly recommend you to go over to Maggie Wang's channel. It's called Head Over Heels. She has some great tips about solo traveling. In fact, she actually does solo traveling quite a bit. So I'm pretty sure she has experience, which I don't. Okay, so when it comes to traveling with friends, there are a lot of horror stories that I've heard where friends go on a trip, they come back and suddenly they're no longer friends, they don't talk, they're enemies. And honestly, I never want that to happen with me and my friends. I really cherish all of my friends. And sometimes you have to understand that your closest friends cannot be your travel buddies. They are great friends, but they're probably friends that you cannot travel with, and that's okay. You have to come to a conclusion that, hey, I'm fine with that, and that's okay. But there are other friends that you can travel with, you know? So how do you identify who you can travel with? This is how I did it. Honestly, I think I had a very big brain moment, in my opinion. Number 1, observe your friends' day-to-day habits. Let's say for me, I'm not so much of a type A person, but my other friend is super type A. And I realized, oh my God, she's actually going to be so pissed at me if I do not follow exactly her plan and schedules. And I'm more of like, hey, let's follow the flow a little bit today. She will get pissed. So I understand that even our day-to-day habits won't align. Like, she prefers stricter schedules and I don't. And it's just very hard for us to compromise. Both sides will not be happy. And this is just when we're hanging out as friends. Can you imagine if you're traveling with them? It's probably going to be way worse. So what I did was I'll stay over at some of my friends' house and I'll just observe how are they like. And I already know, like, okay, this is how they're like. Then I'll just see, okay, we have similar personalities, we have similar thought processes. So I'll ask them like, hey, what do you want to do today? They're like, let's just walk around and see. And I'm like, yay, that's the answer I'm looking for. Okay, then maybe I can travel with this person. Number 2, money. Money is a very, very sensitive topic. Even if you're long-term friends or your parents or your siblings, whatever it is, money is just a sensitive topic in general. But you still have to talk about it with your friends. So for example, let's say I have a bigger budget and my friend has a smaller budget and I want to be able to enjoy this trip and spend more on areas that I'm willing to spend on, but this friend is not. And this friend really wants a budget trip, like what I mentioned just now, 1K for 5 days and 4 nights. I don't think he can do that, but she wants to, she's like, I have only 1K to spend. And I'm like, hey, I have 4K to spend. Then maybe you guys can't travel together yet until you align or come to a compromise with each other's budget. But I think it would be best to find someone who has similar budget range and would be okay with doing things that both you and her or him can afford. It's very sad, I know. Like, I don't want to talk about money like this with my friends, but sometimes it's really hard because one of you will have to compromise and the other one's not going to be happy if you're constantly compromising.
I mean, I agree with Sola. It's more of like, it's not really about the money, but how each person handles like their budget and whether they can accommodate themselves to the trip or not.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
it's not really condescending to like not want the lower budget person, but if they can, right, I think it's fine.
I mean, what I'm trying to say is you shouldn't feel bad for wanting to save or spend. You guys just want different things and that's okay. Yeah. Number 3, this one is very important in my opinion, hygiene and habits. Okay, so I have friends who are OCD clean freaks. I wouldn't say I'm super OCD, nor am I super messy. Like, for example, theirs would be so OCD to a point where every single strand of hair has to be picked up from the floor and they have to wipe the floor down with tissues or else they can't sleep. And I personally am not that kind of girl. I am more of like, okay, as long as my area is clean and neat and I don't have outside clothes on the bed, I've showered, then only I get into the bed, then I'm perfectly fine. But some friends are not okay with that and they want everyone to accommodate to their OCD-ness. So if you cannot accommodate to their OCD-ness, it's going to be really, really hard for you because you're just going to be really frustrated by the fact that you have to change your personal habits to accommodate to theirs. And how I evaluated whether we can stay together is I'll have sleepovers with my friends. I'll have sleepovers and observe their habits. If they're not okay with the fact that I am the way I am, or if I'm not okay with the fact that they are the way that they are with their hygienes and habits, then it'll be really hard for us to go on a trip let alone one night of sleepover, you know? Number 4, emotional maturity. I honestly think this is a point that is really overlooked because let's say, for example, I'm a person that's more calm whenever there's stressful situation, and this other person is more panicky, and then they'll cry and they'll rely on you all the time. Like for example, I missed a train, and then like we all missed the train because this one person was just rushing from, let's say, the toilet, and we missed because she was at the toilet waiting for her. Instead, like one of the other friends will be like, oh my god, what's wrong with you, and then bashing everyone. But then another person will be like, okay, let's just stay calm, and this person is not willing to compromise but just being mad at the friend that was late. I would say it'll be really hard because there's just going to be so many arguments. Instead, if everyone just stay calm and try to find a solution, it will probably be easier to go on this trip with these friends. Yeah. Number 5, independence. What I mean by independence is, let's say I like to go to art galleries and I like to go to look at museums to learn about the culture from that specific country. But then my friend loves shopping and she wants to look at shoes, she wants to look at bags. Is she independent enough to go look at shoes and bags herself, and I go to see my museums and art galleries myself? And if she's not, then probably it's gonna be really hard because sometimes we have things that we want to go see ourselves, but the time constraint is tight. But it could also be in a form of, are you, like, do I have to baby my friend? Can they wake up on time and get ready so we can go to that place together instead of me having to constantly wake her up every 5 minutes for the next hour? If I have to do that, it's going to be really tiring every single day. You know? You get my point? Like, can they be an adult?
I'm going to say something.
Yeah?
Just leave her lah.
Don't be so mean. I'm just giving examples. My friends are not like that. I'm probably the one that's like that. Okay, next. Intentions. I would say this one is very important. Like how I said, independence, emotional maturity, it's all tied together, to be honest. So how I came to a conclusion with my friends is when we wanted to go on this trip together, I asked them, like, what are the things that you would look for when you go traveling? For me, I'm the kind of person where it's like food comes first, everything else is secondary. Then for them, it's probably like, okay, I like food and sightseeing. Another one's like, oh, I like food and shopping. Another one's like, oh, I like food and culture. But we all have something in common. We all want to go there for the food. When we are aligned with our intentions, it's a lot easier for us to go on a trip because we all want the same things. But I also understand that not every friend ticks the box, you know? Like, that's like a perfect box. That's like the perfect friend. That's like cloning yourself. Especially in a friend group. If it's like one other friend, it's probably going to be easier. The important thing here is all about compromise. But you have to be okay with the things that you're compromising for. You cannot compromise on everything, but there are certain things where you can let go, and there are certain things where you have to stand strong. In my opinion, the most important thing about a trip is everyone's happy. Like, if one person's not happy, it's going to ruin the whole dynamic. So you have to make sure everyone's happy.
Let's do a little insights. What is your, like, what do you need to have when you go on a trip?
Oh, I would say what I need to have is similar habits, like hygiene habits, as well as traveling, like schedule-wise habits. Because like what I said, I have friends who are super type A. They have to wake up at 8, then brush their teeth, and then go eat breakfast at 9. Then we have to reach this place at 9:15 or some shit like that. And it was really, really tiring, the thought of it, because I'm not the kind of person that likes to go on tours. And I know tours are exactly like that. And I don't want to be tired on my trip. In my opinion, a trip is supposed to be a place where it helps you relax. You may disagree with me, but to each their own, this is how I think. And I wanted to find friends who have similar habits in that sense, or similar thought processes. What they would think is, okay, as long as I wake up and I know where I'm visiting today, I have some sort of a plan. It doesn't mean I have to follow that plan. I'm good. And I'm that kind of person. It's not that I don't have a plan. I do have a plan. I have a plan of like, okay, day one, where am I visiting? What are the food locations that are available in that area, as well as like what are the sightseeing places that is quite popular, or if not, things that I'm more interested in. Then we go through and see like, hey, do we really want to go here? If we don't, then we can cross off some places, then we just explore ourselves. But if we're running out of things to explore, then we can just go back to the list. So it's a very, very chill trip, but I had a lot of fun because it wasn't stressful, like I have to follow this, I have to go here, I have to go there. It was more like, okay, we're just here to enjoy and each other's presence in a different country. So if I can't find friends who align with me like that, I think it's gonna be really, really hard for me to travel with other people. And also hygiene, like what I mentioned, if I have friends that are super OCD down to the point where they'll get like tissue to wipe down the floors, or you have to pick up every strand of hair. Look at my hair. It's gonna be really hard to pick up every single strand. I try, but it's just every time I walk, there's gonna be another strand on the floor. So that's why I'm trying to say is you can be friends with them, but you don't necessarily have to travel with them. Next, itinerary and responsibilities. Like what I mentioned just now, I'm not super type A girl, so my itinerary on planning would be more catered towards the general audiences that can apply these tips. Honestly, when it comes to a friend group, you can divide and conquer with this one. Like one person takes food, one person takes navigation, another person takes booking, or one person can plan it all. It really depends. But in this case, I actually planned everything. Because I did try to divide and conquer, but then I realized some of my friends are actually not very good with planning. And even though I wasn't the best option either in general, but out of the four, I was the best option at the time because everyone was quite busy. So how I really tried to accommodate everyone's itinerary and make sure everyone's happy with the itinerary is each person gets to pick 3 different locations maximum, and they have to rank in order of most want to visit and until least want to visit. Then I jot down all of their locations onto Google Maps, and if they're within the same district, we can visit around 2 to 3 locations in one day. If it isn't within that place, then we will do it on a different day. But I did tell them up front beforehand, like we might only visit 1 or 2 of the locations that you really want to go. And if you're okay with that, then we'll move forward. If you're not okay, then we'll have to talk about it. Like how would you want to compromise? Like why do you really want to go to this place? And if so, how can we get there? And most of them were completely okay with that plan because it was quite fair, in my opinion. And also my friends are pretty chill, like what I'm saying. So this way everyone gets a little bit of everything. At the same time, planning is reduced because you don't actually have to find the places yourself and constantly go back and forth and ask, do you like this? Do you not? You just go straight to them and it's like, hey, what do you want? Some of my friends were actually so chill to the point where they said, I don't want to know the plan. In fact, I want a blind box.
What?
I was like, what the frick is a blind box?
Surprise me.
Yeah, she was like, surprise me. I want to know where we're going the next day, the day after, when we're landing, where we're staying. I was like, what the hell? You're crazy. So yeah, that's exactly what I did. I didn't tell her. And in fact, when I did try the divide and conquer plan, like what I mentioned just now, so I left like booking locations to one person, but I completely forgot that this person really, really sucks with directions. So what happened? What happened was really bad. She was about to book the hotel that was like 2 hours away from where we were staying, and I was like, what the hell? Why is this? And then she was like, it's so cheap, right? I was like, did you check? It was in a completely different state. What are you talking about? Like, it's not accessible. And she was like, oh, she was like, it was so cheap. And she was like, I was like, how did you find it? She was like, I typed Taiwan. I was like, that's not how it works. I was like, we're going to Taipei, right? She was like, And then I was like, this is in Xinjing Farm. This is a completely different area, She was like, oh, no wonder there was a farmland and everything. I was like, I don't know what to say. I was like, it's okay. Give me the location planning. I will do it. In fact, it was really bad because she's so bad with locations. When we were going around Taiwan, if no one was with her, we would be really concerned. Like, what if she went missing? And she never took public transport before, even when she was in Malaysia. So when she was there, it was like a whole new world for her. And she was like, wow, oh my God, how do you guys know which line to transit? And I was like, there's a pamphlet, you follow it. And then she was like, huh? I don't get it. And I was like, we've been to this place 3 times already. Like, you should remember by now. She was like, it's okay, I'll just follow you guys. And then once she was like, I'm gonna go explore myself. I'll see you guys later. And all of us panicked. We're all like, no, you're staying here. Make sure someone goes with her. And then because one of the 4 people that went with us was my sister. So my sister's really good with directions. So I was like, Peihua, you follow her right now. If you're not following her, she's gonna go missing. And she was like, okay, I'll follow her. Yeah, so pick the right people also if you're gonna divide and conquer. Maybe don't pick directionless people to plan the itinerary. Okay, so here's a money tip. If you're planning to visit like theme parks, tours, museums, or anything that needs tickets, it's actually way cheaper to pre-book because you're not buying it at peak price. When I went, it was honestly peak price because it was during New Year's. But if you were to buy everything through Klook or anything, there's gonna be vouchers or first-time user vouchers, which you can take advantage of that and make everything much cheaper.
And if you're the type who cares about time, always look out for express passes. I think express passes are quite important. So.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't even think about it. I always just buy the express passes. And I know this is a very privileged thing to say, but can you imagine lining up for a ride for 4 hours and then you finally get to sit on that one ride for 2 minutes? It's really, really not worth your money and time, especially time. So I would just go for express passes unless if it's not during peak season. Oh, and place everything within a Google folder, like your tickets, your hotel booking, even your passports. You have to get it scanned, so it will be easier for you to track back anytime you need to show evidence of booking or show evidence of payments, you know? Next, transportation. How are you going to go around the whole city, or how are you going to go around the country? Is it through public transport, rental car, e-hailing, or even walking? Let's say if you're renting a car, you have to check your license requirements, pay a deposit, get an insurance coverage, and basically download all the necessary apps before you go to that country. Not during, always download before. And if that country has different e-hailing services from us, use their app from that country. Like Taiwan, they use Uber. They don't really use Grab. So as a first-time user, there's a lot of discounts. Please use and make full advantage of a first-time user discount. Next, connectivity. Honestly, for connectivity, what I mean by that is like getting a Wi-Fi or getting a roaming man. But I personally think it's really not worth your money. Just get an eSIM. Don't be like me. What I did was I bought data from my main data provider, and it was 2 times more expensive than getting an eSIM, and it has way less coverage. So the next time when I went to a trip, which was in Thailand, I just bought an eSIM. What I did was I went to Shopee and I typed Thailand eSIM or like whichever country you're visiting lah. And then you pick whichever provider you can afford or like the coverage that they allow. Mine was unlimited coverage. And it was actually very fast because I was very worried that I didn't buy data in time. But my sister was like, just buy an eSIM. And I was like, what if they don't reply me in time? It was really fast. I bought it on the day of the flight and I got it on the day of the flight. So I activated it when I was there and it was very easy to use and it had unlimited. But my sister who bought a data coverage from her main data provider only had like 5 GB a day.
Was it slow though?
No, it was super fast. She ran out of data so quickly though, so she had to follow me around everywhere.
Like your sister's local data, is it?
Yeah, my sister's local data. But mine was, because I bought eSIM and it was unlimited, it was connected to really strong data. I don't know, but it was really strong, the coverage.
I think a caveat, maybe I want to add is a caveat, maybe it's like you need to check first before you sign up for eSIM also. Because Monday I met my Australian auntie, right? Yeah, she also used an eSIM, but she told me it was very laggy in Malaysia. Yeah.
I mean, check the reviews.
So I think it depends also.
That's
it's
true.
It's not a clear-cut thing.
That's true. But yeah, just check the reviews. Always read reviews. And also, you can rename your eSIM, you know? So I renamed it to Island Girl because I was in Thailand. Okay, next. That's not important. But you should know. Next, packing. Actually, I hate packing. I really don't like packing. It's so tedious. But here's a general list of things that you must bring. Number 1 is clothes. Duh. If you don't bring your clothes, Hey, maybe you can actually buy your clothes there if you're rich enough.
And that's when it hit me. The best idea I ever had in my entire life.
Account for 1 outfit each day, and additional 2 in case that they get dirty. Like what if it rains, or what if you get into mud? It's best to just use the clothes to mix and match rather than have separate outfits every single day. Especially if it's a cold country, it's completely fine to mix and match, in my opinion. So,
Pro tip, if you like to bring a lot of clothes and you want to save space, don't fold them, roll them up.
really?
Yes.
What? I always fold them because I was so scared rolling them out would take so much space.
No, rolling has more space than folding.
Damn, leave it in the comments down below. Let me know. Like, is it true? Maybe I should try next time. But I also have a rule when I travel. You guys are gonna think I'm gross because now, like I say, I'm not an OCD friend. I'm not this. I'm not like a hygiene freak. But I still like to keep my things clean. But only when I'm traveling, I'm okay with this. Like, I'll rewear my pants lah. It's fine in my opinion because if you're not sweating, if you're sweating, then you shouldn't do that. Like, don't judge me. I'm pretty sure you guys have stuff that you guys do where other people will judge also. Okay, I'm putting myself online to let you guys have more tips to learn from me. You don't have to follow my tips.
Just la 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 la. Shh. Living my life.
Next, daily use items. For me, it was like a skincare, products, toothbrush, toothpaste, towels, etc. You know the drill. Like, you should know this. If you don't know, I'll have a guide down below. Number 3, this is really important in my opinion. As much as aesthetic is important, in my opinion, comfort is the most important when it comes to shoes. If you're gonna be in a foreign country walking all the time and you don't have the privilege of having a private driver, you would have to use comfy shoes, like definitely 1000%. But in my opinion, you should bring 2. 1, just in case it gets wet. 2, what if you've been walking around in that shoe and then it has different pressure points. So for shoe A, you wear already the whole day. The next day you change to shoe B, it has a different pressure point, so you're not as fatigued on your feet. It could just be a me thing, I don't know. But for me, my ultimate shoe is a New Balance 530. Okay, 530. That's just for me. Don't clock me on this. I can walk 10k steps in it easily, like easily. Number 4, power bank. My phone dies easily. Number 5, very, very easily overlooked, medicine. So when I landed in Taiwan, I got sick the first few days and none of us brought medicine. I had to go back and forth to the doctor, to the pharmacist all the time, and I spent easily above 200 ringgit on medicine alone. But if I brought my own medicine, I probably wouldn't have spent that 200 ringgit on medicine. Yeah, bring your medicine. Number 6, universal adapter. If you don't have it, you can't charge anything. When I went to Phuket, I forgot to bring it.
How much do you have to pay?
20 bucks. So it's still okay, but still 20 bucks. Do you know how annoying that is? Yeah, just don't be like me lah. Okay, I feel like I'm exposing too much of myself, and it shows that I'm not a responsible adult, which is true. I have no comeback for that.
Child. Anyway, so
Number 7, a reusable water bottle. I'm a girl who loves to drink water, okay? So just bring one but it has to be small, or else it's gonna be really hard to carry. You don't want to be lugging a 5 kg bottle around. I don't know, my friends have really big water bottles. Number 8, if you're going with friends, this is a hack. You can split who brings what. Like, all 4 of us have hair, so someone's gonna bring a hair dryer, and then the other person will probably bring toiletries, and then the other person bring hair curler. You can borrow each other's jackets or even clothes, shoes if you have the same shoe size. This is like a safe, like space-saving hack, you know? Lastly, for safety and emergency, this is really, really important when it comes to traveling. I would say, number 1, download an app or use Find My on iPhone, an app like Life 360, where you can share location with your friends and family, so they have more of a peace of mind. They know where you are at all times. They know where you are at all times. Number 2, keep track of where's the nearest hospital, police station, and embassy that is closest to you, just in case if anything happens, you know where to go. Like, just keep it in your itinerary planning. For me, I knew that there was like a hospital as well as a clinic nearby us. So I was very lucky when I was sick. I just had to walk down the street. Number 3, keep physical and virtual copies of your passport, ID, and insurance. Print it out, put it in your bag, and then put the virtual versions in your Google Drive folder so it's easy for you to track. Don't just put it everywhere, okay? Number 4, travel with a bag that has zippers or is slash proof. If you're going to somewhere where there's a lot of pickpockets, just get a bag that's slash proof. But if you don't like the way it looks and you think you're pro, then you can just get a bag with zippers lah. But put it in front. Always put it in front. Don't put it at the side. Don't put it at the back. And send your parents full itinerary, flight details, and your friends' contact information. And in my opinion, you should at least text them at least once a day so that they know you're alive. Come on. Common sense, girls. Next, what happens if you lose your passport in a foreign country? Thank God, it has never happened to me before. And although I'm not the most responsible adult, but I'm responsible enough to make sure the passport is always on me. So, number 1, you should panic. No, you should not. Okay, that was a joke. Don't panic. If you panic, you can't get anything done. Head over to the nearest police station and file a report. But you have to ask for a copy of the report because, yeah, you're going to use that later. Next, number 2. Remember how I asked you to bring physical and virtual copies of your passport? You have to use that now because the police report will probably request for it. Yeah, they want to know where you're from also lah, and they want an identification. Number 3, contact the Malaysian embassy in that country. So what will happen is they will issue an emergency certificate, which is a one-way passport back to Malaysia. It's an emergency passport basically. And this is where they will request for your police report to show proof of evidence that you actually lost your passport. How do you find the Malaysian embassy? Very simple. You just go on Google, you type Malaysian embassy, set foreign country, then it will usually give you the location. And there is typically a dress code when it comes to going into government official buildings. I would say it's best to just dress modestly, or else they might not let you in. And once you have your emergency cert, you can fly back to immigration and go make a new passport. But if you did buy travel insurance, like what I mentioned just now, it usually will cover the cost of making the emergency certificate. It is tedious, so in my opinion, it's best to just keep your passport safe. Okay, I'm wrapping up. It's a really, really long video, and I've been yapping for so long. I know it's a bit messy, but in my opinion, the most important is just to have fun, and it's okay if your plans don't exactly turn out the way you want to. But as long as you have fun, you know you're safe, and honestly, that's pretty much all that is important for a trip. And sometimes not following according to plans can lead you to better outcomes. You never know. And at the end of the day, as a first-time traveler, it is really fun because you're going out for the first time without your adults around you. You are the adult. Oh my God, I am the adult. But without your parents. So there's not much restrictions. You're allowed to do whatever you want, but with limitations, obviously. It's a completely new experience that I would highly encourage you to just go and explore. But this guide is more for you to just plan easier, because you're technically figuring everything out for yourself, by yourself. Previously, I would just follow whatever my parents say and I'll be fine. But this was kind of the first time where I had to make decisions myself. I had to book stuff myself. I had to go look around in a foreign country without the help of my parents. I had to problem solve in a different country. It was fun. And I highly encourage you to try it at least once when you're young. Yeah. And if you have the capabilities to do so. But it's still important to have a plan, because if you don't have a plan at all, everything can go south, okay? Anyways, happy traveling, and I hope this guide helped you. Bye-bye. See you in the next episode. Say bye-bye, Ethan.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. We're just figuring it out. Yeah, what the heck is a tung 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 sahur? Someone, okay, you told me already, but I don't understand why it's a meme. Okay, that's one thing I don't understand. And I don't understand what is a skibidi toilet. I know it's two things merged together. I don't speak. Is this Gen Alpha or is it Gen Z? I swear I'm Gen Z though. I'm like 20. Yes, I'm 22. I should understand this. But I know 8 slay.
It's okay. 6, 7.
What is 6, 7? Somebody enlighten me. I really don't know. But it's okay. Yeah, okay, it's fine. Let's get back to the video.